Today's episode is with William the Wild Shaker. You have seen him in 5 different Zine volumes, dancing in 2 fitness concerts, presenting at Zumba convention. He's a songwriter, producer, singer, dancer, performer, choreographer, Zumba jammer. He's a husband, he's a dad, and he is a hottie. And he's here to share with us his journey to success so that we can follow his trail to success and understand his ups and downs. And as well as he's here to share with us some tips about how to accept our body and the fluctuations that our body goes throughout the year, and how to maintain a strong and healthy body that keeps you with a lot of energy and endurance during our Zumba classes. Thank you so much, William Villaseñor, for your precious time and honest and open conversation with us. We really appreciate it. And everybody, enjoy every second of this show. And don't forget to click on follow or subscribe, whether on Spotify or on my YouTube channel, so that you can help me to continue to grow this beautiful project of Biographies of Greatness. I'll leave you now with William Villaseñor. Welcome to the Happy Beyond Fit podcast with Maria Browning, former synchronized swimmer from Colombia, turned into a lifestyle entrepreneur. Welcome to my podcast, William.
Hi.
Thank you for being here.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, officially welcome to the podcast, William. It is a pleasure having you here. I have been aware of your existence when I started being assessed. My first territory was Kentucky, because I used to live in Kentucky. So then I taught a training once in Henderson, Kentucky, which is a town like not many people know what that is. And then my host was very excited because she was going to go to a class with this guy, a master class. You know, back in the day, master classes in Zumba were not a normal thing. There were just very few people doing master classes. And she was like, yeah, William the Wild Shaker. And I'm like, who? Yes, this guy is like huge and everybody's going crazy about him. William the Wild Shaker. And I'm like, who's this guy? So I'm like trying to do research. And why is he coming to my territory? I'm like, how did you make it to Kentucky? And then they hosted you. It was actually in Evansville, Indiana, because there was a girl that used to have a studio there. What's her name? Heidi, of course, Heidi, gorgeous dancer and performer.
Yes.
And she used to have a studio there. So she hosted you and it was a huge class and you became like a huge hit that like they always wanted you in that area. So that's how far back we go. I've heard about you since forever.
Really.
So then now that I invited you to come to the podcast and I'm doing research on you, on your social media, and on your Zumba page, it says that you became a Zumba instructor in 2011. And I was like, I could swear he was teaching classes before 2011. So I need the real story on this.
Okay, no. Normally, you know that, I don't know why, but they, in the Zumba page, this is a disclaimer. I'm not talking about bad of our beautiful brand and a website. But the thing is that they normally give you the date from where you become Zine member, not a Zoom instructor.
That's what I thought.
I don't think that that's a good thing, because you should have, your first welcoming to the Zumba brand. You know what I'm saying? So normally, and even back in the day, that it wasn't a regular thing to someone take a B1 training and right away get into the Zine experience. You know what I'm saying?
Especially when you're from Mexico and you're a very good dancer already, and you were like, I don't need this.
No, and it's not because of, I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of like that, right? But in my experience was that I'm not going to pay for something that I don't know what it's about. You can tell me, you can give me a speech for 3-4 hours. And my guest is Elisa, so she gave an amazing speech about it. But the thing is that I'm just realize what is this huge brand that they invited me. So I need the experience as a Zumba instructor, what it feels like, what is the ups and downs, what is the confidence it gave me, the doors that they open, everything it comes related to the brand. This is a new thing for me. I've been teaching for more than 3 years, but without Zumba. because my story begins as a dancer, as a choreographer. I worked in different areas before that I start teaching. And when I became a dance instructor, like a dance fitness instructor, it wasn't with Zumba because there was people teaching pseudo Zumba. I don't know how they say it, but that's how they know. So they introduced me
Okay,
to that word
so
just like
you
that.
were teaching something very similar to Zumba, but you were calling it what?
They call it in Spanish, like, which mean like, I don't know how you say it, like vuelos, dance, something like that.
Okay, okay.
So that's how they introduced me to this word. Because I used to be dancer, I used to be choreographer, but not a dance instructor class.
Okay, so take me back through history. So you were a dancer
Yes.
and a choreographer for who? Who were you dancing for and who were you choreographing for?
We work for different brands locally, but normally my areas was nightclubs as a performance nightclubs, just like 10, 20 minutes when they have this Valentine's night. You know what I'm saying? Mom's Day night, whatever, Happy Father's Day night, something like that. So the spring break night, whatever.
So you were dancing with a team.
Yeah, with a team. And the other one was when I was working with the cruise ships. When they get to the place, you receive the people with a dance or something like that.
Okay.
Work with them.
At the
Never, I
port.
never. Yeah, the port. I never went offshore or whatever. I was in the port. We used to dance salsa mixes, merengue mixes, whatever. So breakdance. My background, my basic background is breakdance, hip hop, breakdance, all those the street dance that I normally use. Because one of those guys, they were keep looking for this freelance jobs. He find out this kind of jobs that it wasn't exactly like hip hop or breakdance dances, but also you can mix it up. So we start to mix it up, a hip hop move or a hip hop dance with there's something that is right now on top, like a people song or maybe a Christina Aguilera song or maybe, you know what I'm saying, like different kind of songs. So for us, it was like a gig, easy gig for 20 minutes to, get something from what we like to do.
So what you mean is that you were performing, you were hired as a team to perform, but then you guys started like trying out doing easier choreographies that people could dance at the same time with you?
No, 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 no.
Or
Just
you're still talking about
performance.
performance?
Yeah,
Okay,
just
got it.
performance. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Like I told you, one of these people, one of these guys that I used to dance in the in the stoplights, asking for money just for fun. I used
How
to,
old
I
were
used to,
you?
I used to do that. I used to do that. Maybe 13, 14.
That is so
Yes.
cute. I love it.
Yes. So we used the car box from the stove burns or the fridge,
Uh-huh.
right? The big ones. So we put it on the floor and we dance on the stoplights and then hey, can you give us something so we can keep going and doing our thing, whatever. It wasn't like
And what
for
would you
us.
guys do with the money?
We buy our stuff. We buy something to eat, maybe clothes. Yeah, but it wasn't much. It just for having it make you feel rewarded for something that you do just for passion.
It wasn't about the money.
Exactly. It wasn't our main income,
I
for
totally get
example.
you because ever since I
Yeah.
remember, since I was a kid, my grandmother used to live in the United States. So every year when she came to visit us for Christmas, she would bring stuff from the United States. But at that time in Colombia, there wasn't like open commerce treaty. So we
Okay.
didn't receive anything from the United States. So everything that my grandmother brought me, like Hello Kitty stuff, Snoopy, cute stuff from the US, I would just sell it. And dude, I was just like 5 or 6 years old and I was selling everything. I don't even remember what I did with the money. It wasn't that I needed money. It's just the satisfaction of doing
Yes.
something, getting
Like
something in
personal
return.
achievement.
Like,
Personal
yes,
achievement.
like some
Yes.
kind of business that I have in my genes. So I
Maybe.
totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah, what I'm trying to clarify is not is I didn't do it like for how you say, like when you asking for money.
Like a beggar or because you were
Yes,
poor and you really needed the
yes,
money.
yes. I mean, of course, I come from the really bad hood, and I messed it up a lot. I've been in bad had for a few years of my teenager steps, right? But
Where exactly are you from?
I'm from, there's a really beautiful port. It's called Mazatlan in Sinaloa. And there's a hood over there called the Lost City, La Ciudad Perdida, which means like a really, really dangerous place to live.
And
But
you grew up there?
yeah, I grew up there. But actually, my parents are still there. So it is really easy to get lost in those neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? It's really easy.
Is it still
What
dangerous?
actually, maybe not that dangerous, but still, of course, it's easy to get loose. When I look back, probably music saves my path from maybe have wrong choices to get me to take me to a different directions on my life. Because the music, I start dancing just for fun. I just start dancing. And on some point I discover writing. So I start to rap. So I changed from moves from dance to writing songs. So I started doing freestyle, whatever, and that gave me another path to. So, for example, instead of staying in the neighborhood and doing bad things, whatever, when you have so many times, you just
You were busy with a different business.
yes. So I used to went to other neighborhoods, but with that in mind, for going to freestyle and writing rhymes and whatever. So I changed from dance to singing per se. It wasn't singing, it wasn't barking, but I switch it up. And with that in mind, I create a new environment, a new kind of people in my life. So I start to live it out that kind of mentality of the neighborhood. Of course, it was related because rap music is related with the neighborhood and everything, but it's with that another mentality, not the mentality from, okay, you're from 3 blocks from me, so I have to fight you. You know what I'm saying? That kind of stupid mentality that you have in a teenager and growing up in those neighborhoods. So I start to focus my energy and my drive, my everything on that kind of mentality to create a group, doing some music and try to, performing on
How old were
so whatever.
you when you added this new side of the business, the rapping and the songwriting?
Maybe 14.
Okay, so a couple of
I told
years
you,
later.
yes. Yeah, like I told you, I start to dance. And like in a year, I switch it up to rap music. So I started doing those stuff. So I keep growing, and maybe until 18, probably a little less, I start to dance again. While I was in my rap group dancing, not create on by myself, I mean, as a group, we create like a whole stage number when we rap, and at the same time I dance with the dancers. I
Okay,
was the
but you
I
were
was
the
the
lead singer.
no, I wasn't the lead. It was a 2 people group. I started with 3, but we left 2. But we have the DJ, so we have these guys who used to join us and dance with us, break dance. So normally I didn't do it anything. I just rap, but it escalated to more professional, if you want to say, because we have a few bigger stages locally and inside of Mexico. So we create like a number with more dancers. And now I became to realize that, oh, maybe I can join the dancers, and do something while I was rapping. Maybe not the other guy, because the other guy wasn't like, no, I cannot do any of that shit. So for me, yeah, it was familiar and I feel comfortable with. So I was like, okay, maybe I can rap and dance at the same time, whatever. So I started doing something, or we
Oh,
create something.
do you remember the first time that you got like a big gig and you were like, oh my God, guys, we made it. Like it was so big that it hit you, like you thought, yes, we're
You're
at
talking
another level.
about the rapping?
Yes, when you were
Yes,
like
of
in that
course.
group.
Yes, I have. And actually, there's videos. There's videos of me singing, but you're not gonna find it if I don't tell you what to
Why?
put it in on YouTube.
Okay,
Yes.
tell me.
No.
I'm taking notes. I need to see this. This is so cute.
So
Tell me. I'm
there's
not kidding. How do I
let
search
me
it up?
give you the story.
Okay.
There is a huge radio in Mexico. It's called EXA, but I don't know if you heard it before. So they used to have these huge concerts, the EXA concerts, when they brought a lot of artists from different part of the Mexico and maybe different parts of other countries if they have the budget for doing it. So we became one of those local groups that we can perform as, alongside with these big stars from the moment from Mexico. So as when we
So were you
figure out
guys
that
like the beginning show, the teaser, before the big stars will come?
it
Or
was
the
it
break?
was it was 3 days. It was 3 days. So one
Oh,
day
okay.
it was opening, one day it was the last, and one day they give us in the middle.
Okay.
They give us between artists. So
So it
they
was like
give
a
us that.
music festival.
Yes. So
Okay.
we had these three big festivals. One was in our town that was big. The other one was Carnival, which in our city is really huge. I don't know if you heard it, but look for it. Mazatlan with Z. Mazatlan Carnival is one of the biggest. When I'm telling you the biggest is that when the first time that they brought Brazilian dancers, like really famous dancers from the Brazilian carnival. They get it there. They start to suing the company because they never tell them that our carnival is like almost 15 kilometers. In Brazil, the carnival, I think, is 5 kilometers, the distance. You know what I'm saying?
So they had this non-stop for like the whole day.
Yes. In Mazatlan, the carnival is a huge thing and it's so amazing and so big and beautiful. But of course, because we are on stage, maybe they have this bad publicity because of the narco series and everything because it's in a law, right? Maybe there is a
Okay.
lot of people who avoid that. But everybody that they know the poor, that they how beautiful it is, and this, of course, this huge party that we have between January and February, which is the carnival. Normally, when you heard a carnival in Mexico, the famous one was in Veracruz, but I don't think that is best. It's just because they don't have that much
Negative promotion about it.
negative promotion about it. That's why they took it to that direction. But I can tell you that Carnival in Mazatlan is bigger, way bigger. It's huge. So we have in one of those stations, because they have a lot of stages, like I told you, 15 kilometers. So they have maybe a stage per kilometer. So we have 15 stages, maybe more. So there are people or singers and groups that they are famous, they are not famous, they are performing through all
Yeah,
the,
they need a bunch of performers to be
yes.
all time.
So we have the lead stage performance. We have a performance in there, and then we have there was a huge concert that was really famous in Vallarta, which is another beach that is really popular in Puerto Vallarta. We have a gig over there as well. So that's when I realized that, okay, we're not doing bad. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have social media to promote. I'm talking about 2016 no, I'm sorry, 2006 to 2010. You know what I'm saying? There was no Facebook. I mean, there was Facebook. I'm talking that there was not a thing to promote yourself through that social media. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't. There was no Instagram, of course. There was already YouTube, but that was in the early stages of YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
And
Was
you guys
like,
didn't have the money to invest on like a
exactly.
TV commercial. So it was pure word of
That was my next. I was about to tell you about that. I used to have my regular job, like my day job.
doing what?
My God, I can spend a lot of I was how you say intendant riendo hoteles.
Like house cleaning at a hotel.
Yeah, hotels, yes. Delivery, pizza delivery, pharmacy delivery. I used to work in the kitchen as a helper kitchen. I work in construction. I work as a selling this monthly, how you say it? Like monthly
Like a life
programs.
insurance?
Not a life insurance. It's for English school
Okay.
and the early computer, introducing computer to because
Uh-huh.
that was back in the day, so they have these schools that they teach you how to use the computer, whatever. So we sell the memberships
Okay.
and everything like that. That's when I start to doing the singing part and everything, and then I start to doing the dance part on the side. I don't know if you want to stop to keep asking for this part of my life, but I just want to say that between that is when dance instructor came in the equation, because there was a guy, she used to dance with us in the group. Somebody invited him to do a dance fitness class. It wasn't like, what am I doing? And I was like, it's so easy. You're just trying to learn these moves. And for you as a dancer, it's going to be really easy. And just make them feel comfortable with it, whatever. So whatever they taught to him, he talked to me. It's like, it's so easy coming here just 1 hour, man. I give you the number that they offered me on my first gig
Why?
as a dance instructor, because it's so freaking little. And I was so
But for you, it
excited.
was huge.
Yes, it was huge, because for those regular jobs, right, it paid me more for 1 hour, but it
Of
still is so
course.
little.
Than working 6
I'm
hours at a
I'm
delivery
talking
place.
about like maybe $1.50 to $2
Yeah, you don't need to give
for
us
the
specific
class.
numbers because this
Yes,
is very hard for us to understand how the money
yes,
goes in Mexico.
in Mexico, yes.
Yes, yes. So,
Yes, but when I started doing that, I started doing on like another job on the side, you know? Well, I would start teaching some classes as covering subs. I used to I still doing my singing thing, you know?
okay, so this dude was just wanting you to sub for him when he couldn't do
Yes,
it. That's how it all
yes,
started. Okay.
yes.
And then once you started subbing, you liked it and you started getting your own
Yeah,
classes?
I started to like it, and the thing was, it was more like pushing, because when I tell you saw him, it was only for like 3 weeks, because in the 4th week, this guy went to like a competition and he fractured his knee. So the girl who was running the studio called me at 1 p.m. I was doing my clothes, how you say, folding my clothes.
Yes, folding your laundry.
They called me and said, like, I need a sub for his 5 classes, because the guy teaches 5 classes per day, because he can no longer dance right now. He's going to be like that for a month and a half to 2.
So you quit your job.
No, I said, like, you know what? This guy lied to you, and I lied to you. I'm not instructor, because this guy gave me like a fake resume to the girl, just to her feel comfortable with me.
Because it was a legit program. He had taken the license with somebody.
No, it wasn't even as a license. They just teach. You know how they roll in Latin
So
America.
his certificate was also fake.
No. It wasn't even certified. It just happened to be a great dancer. And some girl saw something on him. It could be a good potential dance instructor. You know what I'm saying? Like a
Yes.
dance fitness instructor.
Yes.
Her just teach him how to normally dance fitness instructor react, and that's how it was taken.
Okay, but he didn't need to show a certification. But he needed
Nothing.
you to show a certification.
No, it doesn't show me anything. It doesn't do anything. And he taught me just by watching him how he does it. And I just copy him. So I started to teach him just the way that I saw what he was doing. Of course, in a wrong way. That's how he teach. And I just follow him for 3 weeks. And normally I just sub maybe like 6 classes. And after that, it happened the accident. So now I have to sub 5 classes. The
Per
girl,
day.
yes. Now the girl, she didn't know that I was not even instructor. I wasn't even nothing. This guy told her that I was instructor. I've been teaching for I don't know how many years, whatever, just to make her feel comfortable for going to sub him. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Now I get it.
You say to
Yeah. He
yes.
told you big.
Yes. So I have to tell her, because I told her, it's like, you know what? I have to be honest. This is too much. 5 classes. I'm not even instructor. I don't have certified. I'm just happy to be a good dancer. And she was like, you know what? The students feel so comfortable with you right now. So don't worry about it. You just come and solve the 5 classes. And I was like,
He
okay,
was desperate too.
maybe. She never thought to get that answer at 1 p.m. and the first class is at 7 a.m. I mean, I was at 1 a.m. and the first class it was at 7 a.m. The first class. So I started teaching. I was teaching the same 7 songs because he used to teach 7 songs and then it was on the floor doing exercises with the stick, with the freaking dials with sand on it. So all the stuff he does it. He used to do that. That's how I know my first dance fitness class related to. That's how they introduced me.
So
So
for
I
how
thought
long you did that before you were introduced to a real Zumba class?
like a year and a half. So I used to teach Nazula class for 1 year and a half. But by that time, I already get uncomfortable because I used to teach 6 classes, not 5, because I don't know, for whatever reason, I became really popular in the studio. So they give me another extra class. So now I have 6, 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon. So I teach 6 classes, the same 7 songs, 6 days. So can you imagine?
How did you not go crazy?
So that was happened. At the time that it happened to be 30 days, like a month, I was like, I'm done. I can't hear no more freaking El Baile del
Of course.
Vito because I'm so done for that freaking song already. I was like, I
So you
finished
started
that.
creating your own choreographies.
That's how I became for, if I be, why don't I create something from this? And maybe my first barrier was my first wall is to think is because you don't know anything about this kind uh of
World.
war exercise. Okay, but you're a dancer, so maybe you can create something. So there was nobody. I had no one to tell me how to do, maybe how it's supposed to be. Nobody telling me that you have to get certified. I'm talking about 2009, girl. It was like, even though the Zumba was a thing already, it wasn't that big like everybody thinks.
Yes.
You
And not
know,
in Mexico. It took a while to take off in Mexico.
exactly. So maybe there was people interest, but I didn't know those people. So I only know the people who they already teach, maybe for looking for YouTube videos, whatever. So I start to do my own thing, and I think it works because I come up with 2 choreographies for the next weekend, and the people were crazy because they were exhausted and tired to hear the same freaking music. When they listen to the new 2 songs, they were like, oh, whatever. So it's like, okay, this is a plan. So every weekend on Saturday, I'm gonna go to the studio and I'm gonna do it, create 2 new choreographies and 2 new choreographies, and I'm gonna add into taking up 2, adding 2, taking out 2, whatever.
So you already had your system. You already knew how to
Yes,
choreograph, even though
yes.
not with the
So
proper fitness moves, but
yes,
you already got a flow and a read of teaching how to teach a class, how
yes.
people follow.
Yes. So when somebody introduced me to the Zumba work, was already mastering the. I'm not saying the correct way to do it, but I
Master
mastered it.
bullshitter.
I mean, I
God,
already.
you were pulling it out of your booty.
Yes, of course. I was the wolf of Wall Street of Zumba Street. Yes, something
Correct.
like that. Yes, I was the Jordan Belfort of Zumba. But that was big. I always like to say this, Maria. This is my beautiful ignorance because it was beautiful because not knowing gave me as well the confidence to keep pushing forward because I didn't know anything. Maybe if I knew something, maybe my own negativity or my own block-ups is like, no, you cannot do that. No, 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 this is too much. Or maybe you're too neighborhood for going to that freaking word. It is so colorful. All those stuff that
The
normally the people
insecurities.
applause for me and my world, how I experienced the hood, the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, from the streets and whatever. It wasn't like mixed it up, those 2 words, but my ignorance, because I didn't know anything about it, it presented me in a small steps. You know, the word, it came to me in small steps to give me the opportunity to feel comfortable with it, you know, like dragging me slowly but sure. So moving forward to 2009, they came with the super class from Elisa Stone. And she was in the posters and masterclass and B1 training. So I said, masterclass? You need that thing, you know? I was in that feeling that I was like, okay, I have 6 classes, more than 35 people in each classes. I don't have time for that. I have my system for creating on Saturday, my 2 choreographies, whatever. But the training, I was like, I don't even know what Zumba is. Nobody telling me. And 2009, you don't do, okay, let's Google it. Okay, let's YouTube it. You don't do that. Just like, okay, if nobody tell you, you took a decision, right? So I don't know, I just go with the flow. So like, for whatever reason, this girl made me think that maybe I can learn something from because the poster didn't give me anything. Just a girl like this, right? With the bandanas and everything.
Typical pose
And
with
the
the better
freaking
shuffle.
and the freaking cargos, yes. I just said, like, okay, I'm gonna do my schedule, and I'm gonna go. Oh, the freaking flyer is say, big one training, 2,700 pesos, something like that. So I went with my 2,700 pesos the same day. They're like, hey, hello. And Elisa said, like,
Walk
you're
in.
gonna, yeah, welcome.
And it was sold
Yes.
out.
Yeah, so okay, yes, welcome, but now it's not 2017, it's like 3,000 and something different because the
Mexican
price
pesos.
changed. The price changed. The walking changed, right?
Uh-huh.
So I was like, holy damn, I didn't have any money. I just saved that money for the certificate. And she was like, okay, you can go and I'm gonna save you a seat for when you come back. So I went, I grabbed my car, and I went to friend's house and asked him for 200 pesos. And I went to another friend and I 200 pesos until I get to the amount that I
Amount.
needed for the B1 training. Everything went good. The only problem is that I get there late. It wasn't available. The DVDs, it wasn't available anymore. They ran out. They ran out the freaking
Annual?
the
No.
manual. Yeah, she ran everything. Actually, I gave like more than 3,000 pesos in 2009. That I wasn't little money for
And you
somebody
didn't
like,
receive anything.
and I just sit down with nothing. So it
Because
was,
back then, with the ZSS, we had to print the manual. We had to pay for printing each book for 60 people, because back then we had 60 people at each training. And we had to pay, we had to buy baggies and put in the manual with the DVD. And we had to travel to the location with it. So our luggage was super expensive, carrying the
yeah,
DVDs, the packages that were super heavy, and then some snacks and blah, 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 a bunch of things. It came out of our commission. We paid for all of that. So that's why we only packed for the people that was registered for the training. So she was not prepared for you for the walk-in.
yeah. So she said like, okay, I'm sorry. She said like, okay, I'm gonna try to figure out the manuals and the DVDs. I have to send them to you and a month later, maybe. So I'm like, okay, if I sit down, I start to get the training and everything, and I start to feeling more interest about the world and everything. But at some point, there is a lunchtime, and I have no money. So there was people eating, everybody eating around me, and I was like, just my God, and I was like, no, I'm not hungry, I'm not feeling good. But the reality wasn't, I wasn't have money enough. And I always tell this story. I always remember the story to Elisa. Cause she was like, "Oh my God, why you didn't say anything that will help you out?" You know how Elisa is. She always like to help the people out and everything.
Motherly.
Yes, but the thing is that, of course, I did.
How old were you?
Eight, and maybe 18 or not 19, between 19 and 20, maybe. Yes.
Okay.
So I wasn't feel comfortable, and I don't even know her, so I'm not gonna say anything. I just sit up and I'm gonna be made out with her. So I was like, I would just actually go into the bathroom and fill my freaking belly with the
Water.
uh,
The faucet.
The faucet,
Uh-huh.
yes. But just grabbing water from the faucet and then just fill me up until one 8-year-old came to me, so like, you have to take this step. And I was like, I don't know how many, do you have to? I was like, okay, just because you're telling me. So I grabbed a piece and I was like, oh my God, this is the best taco of my life right now. And like, it feel really, really, I feel bummed because I didn't have the funding for, feel comfortable through the whole process. And the ones I always tell the story that the ones that I finished, I feel so inspired. I feel so willing to, hey, this is a career. This is professional. I didn't know before about the B1 training. I just doing because the money was good compared to the construction money. You know what I'm saying? Because for winning the money that I was doing, and for 5 hours, I have to spend freaking 10 hours in the freaking sun working a lot. You know how construction is.
And for
So,
people listening, if you are in the United States, in the US, working in construction pays very well. Not in
yeah,
Latin America. In Latin
no,
America, it pays nothing.
nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Yeah.
But still, it was more money doing Zumba in less time than what
Of
I
course.
do in construction. And so for me, it was a win-win. So I just like, okay, I'm going to keep doing this till that I have the opportunity to do something professional. Obviously, not related to the dance, fitness,
Of
but
course.
nothing.
You're a
When I get,
hustler. So this
yes,
was a new
yes.
hustle.
Yes. So when I get the B1 training, I realized that okay, this is professional. Okay, this is a huge work. Okay, now I understand what I was trying to do a year and a half, 2 years ago. But I understand maybe they do their version of what they think Zumba is, you know, and they just take a reply and reply and reply whatever they think the Zumba is. Because even though something curious and funny is that they used to do the warm up sitting, a regular warm static warm up.
Like
That's
stretching, getting ready to run.
yes. I used to teach my class with static warm up.
Wow.
That's a
So when
funny.
you came back to teach your first class after the B1 training, people were like, whoa,
That's
who
a
are you?
like
What is this
what?
class?
I said like what? But they just totally fell in love right away because of course it feels so much different to start a class, with beat and rhythm than just like turn, 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 turn.
Quick pause to remind you that if you're enjoying this content, please share it with somebody else. In this way, you help me to grow this beautiful project of biographies of greatness. That's it. Let's get back to the show. And then it was easier for you to shift to doing it better immediately because you already had that class going
Yes,
the wrong
of course,
way. Yes,
of
so it,
course.
it was a very different process than a person that had never taught fitness or dance classes. To take the B1 training takes longer to get going. But for you, it was like, wow, I can adjust to this and that and that and
Yes,
that immediately.
the thing is that they always, I don't know if it comes in the software, right? Or you learn to do that. But I always like to be open about stuff. I like to challenge something. For example, if you give me like a subject and you give me like a data, even though I don't know shit about it, I like to push you to give me more details just to understand you. But I'm not gonna grab it just from the beginning just because. I'm really open to.
You're skeptical.
First, no, I'm not as like I told you. That's the thing that I want to explain to you. I'm not a skeptical. I like to be open. I don't like to feel because it's a feeling personal. I don't like to feel that I give you the okay, I believe you in the first round,
You don't
as
want to
such.
feel that you're taken advantage of.
I don't know if I say
It's like a way
correctly.
to protect yourself. You don't want to
May,
be a fool. So you're like,
yes,
okay, I need to be absolutely sure. I'm not going to say yes in the first try
maybe
because I need to do my research.
maybe not even feel that I'm full. I'm just wants to feel that I just don't have the first opinion that they gave me. I'm really open, really open.
Okay.
You can talk to me and I'm gonna set 6 different types of doing things. I'm gonna be open, but I'm gonna challenge you in every single one just to make sure that I feel that maybe my thought was considered. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. And
And
valuable.
I'm not be, como se dice, como manipulable. I'm not be
easily
Yes. Yes.
influenced.
Yes. Even when they probably
Okay, so all of
they
this
manipulate me.
explanation for you to try to explain to me why you didn't join Thin in 2 years. Okay, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, you get it. See, everything comes with it. So the thing of there, and I wanna clarify this because this is really important to me. I know that there's a lot of ways, and I don't wanna disrespect you because you're less. For me, Elisa was such a amazing mentor in the Zumba world because she never make me feel pushed. She never like push me like, hey, you have to take the thing too right away. You have to do the
Uh-huh.
pro skills. You have to take the Zumba Centao right now. She always make me, maybe she was, manipulating me, but she made me feel that I was taking the decision. That's how a good mentor, I think, it should be. She make me feel inspired by her and give me the thought that maybe it should be a good idea if you want. No pressure. It's way different. It's way different. And I like to give you a shout out to this because I'm not
By the
saying
way,
that
we're
you are.
talking about Elisa Stone, which she has
Yes.
been a guest on my podcast, and she's
Yes.
the Zumba education specialist in a part of California and Mexico, and she was the original, says the first one that
This
ever
one.
tried teaching a training other than Beto Perez.
Yes, she never pushed me, and I really appreciate that because nobody nowadays there is a dispute sometimes, and I'm talking about personally. When normally I go to a city, I'm not talking even in the United States, maybe in Mexico, and I just happen to be maybe three team members and maybe two people is not team members, and for some reason they want me to maybe treat differently the same people from the non-team and I just don't feel right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I prefer, okay, of course, them it gonna make me feel more comfortable. They know what I know. We're on the same page, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's cool. But these people who are not being, I, I'm talking about personally point of view. I personally wants to make them feel that they want to be part of it. And now I can use the Jordan Belfort, the Wall Street tactic to bring it out with us and become as team members as well. Not a mandatory, not a pushing, not a threatening. ¿Cómo se dice? Threatening.
Threatening, yes.
Yes. And I say like, oh, because you have to be seen for coming in with me. You know what? I would share that kind of rate of bringing people into our world because I never feel attract Zumba by
So, for those
like
that are
that.
listening to this episode, I want you to understand something that happens in Latin America. It was harder for Zumba to establish themselves as a strong brand in Latin America because in Latin America, most people are already good dancers. They have access to very good music because it's the music that we listen to, anyways, all the dance club music or the different rhythms. And then so it was harder for people to transition into, oh, okay, I need to pay for this membership. Like, why do I want to be a part of Zine when I can create all of this on my own? In Latin America, we are hustlers by default. It's in our genes. So many people make up their own programs and they are dancers and they are fitness instructors without licenses or certifications. So it's way more often that happens in Latin America than in the United States or maybe in other countries, European countries. So because in the United States, it's like legit, you need to show a certification that you are this person, you have the knowledge you say you have, because otherwise it becomes a liability for the gym or the studio. You can get somebody hurt and people actually do sue each other in these countries. So
Yes.
it's a different culture or mentality. So in Latin America, there's a lot of instructors that actively teach Zumba, but they're not the members for different reasons. We
Yeah,
all
yeah,
know
yeah.
what an amazing program we have for different reasons. Maybe they simply can't afford it. They do know the value of the program, but they
Or
simply can't
no,
afford it.
normally I found people that maybe they are being paying for so long, maybe 3, 4 years, whatever, and for some reason they stop to pay because they need to pay another stuff. They stop paying for like 3 to 4 months, and they get back. Meanwhile,
Correct.
that they are not doing. here, their rightfully payment, whatever. If I just come up with them and I treat them differently, it make me feel that first I'm gonna push him
Yeah,
away.
but let
I'm
me
gonna
finish
push her
this
away.
point so that they can
Yes.
understand you better. So in the US, when a person is not a Zin, they're an instructor, but they are not Zin members, it's usually because they're no longer teaching. That's the
Yes.
case in the US or
Yes.
in European countries. But in Latin America, it's the opposite. They're still teaching, but they are not a Zin member. So then those that are Zin members become a little more protective over the Zin network. Like, I'm paying for this, you should be paying for this as well. So that's why it becomes, there's a little rivalry. I don't know how to say this word.
Rivalry.
Rivalry, yes. Uh-huh. And then people split in like two bands, two groups, like the zines and the non-zines,
Yes.
and we should not engage with each other or blah, blah, blah. Something more like that, but it's because the zines are protective over the brand. So I think that's what you're trying to say, that you don't engage in that kind of behavior. You treat
Yes.
everybody the
Yeah.
same.
I like to make, I'm just saying, like, I would love to feel and people talk about me that they feel inspired by whatever that I was doing it. And because of that, they just get back. No, it's because William told me that if I'm not doing Z, maybe Beto is gonna, come by whatever. You know what I'm saying? Not threaten them, not make them feel like less or something. It's just like,
Or like they are not welcomed.
yes, it's like, you know what's gonna happen in the Scene Academy? My guy's gonna be great. I know that you're not paying right now, but this guy from, I don't know, he comes from Africa, is gonna be freaking off. And like last time that I was with him, he teach me this new step. And then I like to give them the FOMO, whatever,
Sure.
those kind of, because that's how they teach me. That's how Elisa brought me to the brand. She carried me carefully and maybe manipulate me, but in a good way.
Sure.
Because being manipulated, I always like to feel that it's not a bad thing, just the word it make you feel less. It's
She gave you
not.
your time for you to make the
Yes,
decision on
exactly.
your right timing.
That's why I became a lead member until 2011.
Okay,
Because
so when did you feel once you started teaching Zumba classes the right way? Same question
2000,
I ask you. Okay, same question I ask you that if you remember that one event that you felt like wow, dude, I made it as a performer with your group. When did that same thing happen in the Zumba world? What happened that made you feel like, wow, I made it in the Zumba world?
the thing is that I don't know if you wanna if you wanna go through the little part of my life that maybe people doesn't feel comfortable with it, but I'm talking
Which
about
is what?
the YouTube channel. I
Which, by
created
the way, is huge.
Well, I created a YouTube channel before that I knew Zumba. That in that part of my life, I never did it with a purpose. I mean, they have a purpose, but not the
Because we
purpose.
didn't know what YouTube was for. We were just
Yes.
playing with it.
Yes. So I used to do it just to get my students compromised to learn the new choreography. Okay, this is gonna be the new choreography. You have to learn it, whatever. Okay, let's bring it up. Let's gonna record it. So you have to follow because next weekend I'm gonna dance that freaking song. All the class and you have to learn whatever. That was kind of my way to create community between my students. I'm
Sure.
not doing it because I want a brand and I want to create whatever a name and everyone I became famous. I didn't know anything about that thing. That's what I'm telling you, the beautiful ignorance. And because of that, I started to, before it wasn't a thing, Instagram as well, Facebook, it wasn't for that. So what I use there's something that normally nobody uses anymore, which is the oh my god, I forgot the name. The
What?
blog from Zumba. Remember did they have a community in
The community forum.
the forum? Yes, the community forum. So I use the community forum for put my YouTube links. So I was like,
Okay.
hey, what's up, guys? This is William from Mexico. I hope you like it, my new groups. So on some point, I never realized, but on some point, every time that I come up with a new video, I didn't know. I realized that there was more people watching me from outside of Mexico than people from Mexico. So that was my first, like, oh my God, you should come. Where? How?
To do
Those
what?
Yeah, to do what? I didn't know. Even though when I already start to knowing about the Zumba brand, until that I get the B1 training, I realized that, oh, maybe that's what they talking about. They're going to teach a class or whatever in exchange for automation, whatever money. So when I get to Zumba, I think that I learned a few skills for adding to my way of promoting myself. More than the dance skills, it wasn't more my way of carrying my image to the outside. So I think that helped me a lot to give me a trampoline to get to the next level related to the advertising myself. So that's how I try to manage. Okay, I can create a brand. I can create my own, my brand. I'm talking about my like a nickname.
Business.
Yeah,
Yes.
like something. Okay, I'm a Zumba
To sell.
instructor, but I have to sell my image. So that's how I start to create it. And in those
That's
days,
how
I
you
didn't
came up
know.
with William the Wild Shaker.
The thing was, my first YouTube name was El Zumbero TV because there was a lot of guys who call it TV to their YouTube channels. TV,
Yes, I
something
remember.
TV.
Yeah. Nathan
So
Blake TV was
yeah,
the
Nathan
first
Blake
guy that
TV,
ever taught
crazy,
master classes.
crazy Soft TV as well. One of the greatest guys that I met in Zumba work, and he gave me a lot of great advice. And right now he's not in Zumba anymore, but I feel really inspired by him, and he was a really good guy. And he wasn't a dancer. That was one of the beautiful things. The guy who was always wearing always a sock. You remember that guy?
What's his name?
His name was Bradley. My God, Bradley Sutton. The guy was in the TV commercial. He used to be a Zumba wrestler. He lost a lot of weight, so he was in one of the Zumba ads in the TV in the United States. He was from San
Okay.
Diego. He was from San Diego, and he created because he was really close friend from Nathan Blake. So maybe he got the idea from Nathan Blake. So he created the Crazy Sock
Yeah,
TV.
Nathan Blake
So
was the original.
okay, so he created his YouTube channel, but the thing of the one of a kind thing, it was he always wear these socks colorful in one of his legs, and the other one he used it in the arms. So every Zumba wear that he wears, he always put the socks. So that's how he became with Crazy Sock TV. And he became popular in those times, in those days with the YouTube channel. So I met him. He went to my city just because he went to a cruise. And gave me a lot of advices about related to the advertising to create okay, you have to create a name for yourself, but not just Zumba. So when I used to do my YouTube channel, I used to always put it Zumba Fitness. I tried to do the right way. I didn't know. I used to my Zumba or whatever. I realized in a bad way that they don't feel really comfortable with it because they start to I say como they report you using the
Or
name and the
misuse
brand.
of the brand.
Yes, yes. So I didn't know about any of those stuff. And Lisa didn't tell me. She didn't know about my YouTube channel, so
Well,
she didn't
to
know.
to be honest, Zumba didn't know it. Zumba also had to learn in the process
Yes,
as
yes.
social media started getting so big and YouTube in particular,
I
then they were
always
like, wait, we need to put a stop to this because we are the only ones who need to have the whole control of the
yeah.
YouTube Zumba instead of others. So
I
it's like Zumba
always
was learning in the process.
I always told them that. I always told them that maybe they were trying to manage how gonna control this. This became bigger and we didn't know how
Yes.
to do that. Because even though I remember, I always tell this story that I don't know if you remember or you are not part of Zumba at that time, that they actually send us an email to tell us that they cannot use Zumba in our Facebook page because that was like,
Yeah,
there was
violation
like
of the
violation.
agreement.
So all my plan was with Zumba. It was like Zumba con William, William con Zumba. So I didn't get at that time, and I feel like this is bullshit, whatever. Like I feel bad because I didn't understand. So I just like, okay. So the only thing that I can do to keep pushing my advertising thing is like, okay, I have to come up with something different and not using Zumba at all, at least on the YouTube advertising.
Uh-huh.
So that's why I started talking with
So
my close ones
which year did you change your YouTube channel to the
to
Wild Shaker?
2011, the last days of 2011 from
Okay.
2012, because the
Okay.
YouTube channel started in the 9, And then I changed it up 2011, almost 2012, to the William the Villaseñor.
And that's
Because
the
in the
first time
forum,
you used that name, or you were
yes,
using it
because
before?
the thing is that in the forum, and the comments, the people start to commenting my link and the video and everything, and they always use wild, shake, what a shake and bomb, wildness. They use these words a lot. So I was talking with my close ones at that time, and we come up with we get to that name. Okay, the wild shaker. So how you translate that? Okay. So I was like, no. So like the shake, okay. So I was like, okay, meneo. Meneo is like a shake, okay, meneo salvaje. So that's how I come up with that. So I put it in Spanish, meneo salvaje, and in English, the wall shaker. And I never saw, I just do it because, okay, instead of Zumbero, I have to pick up something because I
So
cannot put it.
that's how you got to My Little Kentucky, because it was like William the Wild
Yes.
Shaker. You
So
already
the
had
thing
that
was,
name. I was like, who?
yes, the thing was is because I tried to go into United States in the 2012 because I started and before you go to the US, I went to Europe. They invited me to Europe, started to dance. By 2012, I already traveling all over Mexico. And they invited me to a few places in Europe. So from that point, I start to my paperwork to travel to United States, and they denied me 3 times. That was 12, 11, 12, 13, 3 years. So until the fourth time,
We had some technical difficulties, hoping that it got
I'm
recorded.
so sorry.
We are now on second stage of William's life when he becomes the wild shaker. So I'm gonna ask you my question again. When you
Yeah.
said that you feel something happened in your Zumba career that made you feel like, wow, I made it in the Zumba world.
I started to receive a lot of emails, a lot of messages from YouTube channels, from my personal email related to they start to request my class. So it wasn't even something that I think that it could happen. Like somebody wants me to travel, they want to pay me for my travel and teaching is after that pay me for it. It was something really surreal for me. And the thing was that uh like I told you before, because I used to post my links in the Zumba forum, there was people from outside of Mexico that they were more like interest than the people inside of Mexico. So I used to teach a lot in Mexico already. I used to travel a lot, but there was like small gigs. There was a small events, small classes, or maybe the studio classes, whatever. But I used to travel. I used to stay for a weekend in one city, and then I travel to another city, and I stay for another weekend. I do teaching classes, and normally I
Which one was
charge.
the first international trip?
My international trip was the first stop was in Netherlands. That
Netherlands.
was yes, because I tried, like I told you, I tried in United States, but I couldn't. So I had the opportunity to go to Europe first. So I went, and I was Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, and there was another place close to Belgium. There was 5 countries that I went. There was 5 countries that I went in 2012. That was my first international experience. But I already travel a lot around Mexico, small ones, but I still doing things. And the thing was that at some point, this is when I feel like, oh my God, this is something. Because of course, traveling Europe for somebody like me, come from the
Of
hood,
course.
what the hell I'm doing in Amsterdam here? Like what? Right? So, but what it makes me feel really, really that feeling was because at some point I record a choreography from a group that it was really popular in that moment, like a quebradita kind of songs. I record a choreography from that song, and that time it was really popular, the song inside Mexico. But the thing was that my video was more views than his actual original video from the song, the music video, you know? So my choreography video has views than his YouTube video. So it was weird for him. And he reached me out and he's like, how come up with that? So I was like, yeah, it's nice to meet you, man. We live in the same place. Yeah, really? Okay, can we hang out? Okay, let's go. So we have a meeting and he told me like, okay, I have this new song coming up. And I saw that you have an impact in the YouTube world. And right now it's became more important to have this impact in the YouTube world. So I was like, okay, so you want to join me in my video? Yeah, that would be great. Okay, let's go. So the production wasn't like, like my own production, right? It was like normally small production. So I just brought some friends, normally the friends that I used to dance with. When I get the song, like 2 weeks prior to the recording video, and I wasn't feeling like, it was like, for me, it was like, okay, like a so-so song. But I was like, I already committed. So it was going to be a good experience. Like I told you at the beginning, I always say yes to different experience. I don't want to feel that
The
I'm
new
just doing,
hustle.
yes. So I was like, okay, let's go. And I remember the guy, after we recorded, because he's such a nice guy. And it was like, after we recorded, he stood up in front of all the dancers. We were like 10 instructors. And it was like, do you think it's going to be great? Do you think it's going to be a hit? Do you like the song? Do you think it's going to be good? And everybody was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And we left from the place. And it was like, oh my God, the song is not good enough. But the singer is in front of you asking you like, how you think about the song? So I was like, okay. And the freaking song, I just recorded. And after I record that, I went to Europe. I recorded the video. And like 20 days later, I went to Europe. So when I get back to Europe, happily, suddenly happened to be the
The
premiere
premiere.
from the video.
Okay.
And the song went really freaking viral.
And it
Before,
became like the song of your tour in Europe.
exactly. That's how I think my
You
name was.
propel the
Yeah,
song.
my name's give us a huge jump in Mexico because that song was everywhere and the freaking video everywhere. So I was
What's
like,
the song?
so El Coco.
Okay.
No, El Coco, no. They use it in Zumba.
I'm sure.
I think there was an Omega mix years later.
Okay.
It was an Omega mix, but a year later. Like, for example, the song come up in 2012. And maybe they grab it in 2014. You know what I'm saying? We're like way, way, way after. But in that time, that song, it was like, I'm telling you, like, you can, like that was there. You're here in Mexico, it was like everywhere. You're going to
What
the
rhythm was it? Quebradita?
Quebradita, yes. Yes. And it was so big, and I'm in the whole I'm in the whole video the entire time. So when people start to hire me, they use the brand like the choreographer from oh no, because that was the name of the song. And I was like, okay. I wasn't feeling anything good because at the beginning I didn't feel the song wasn't that good. But it became really good, and the people just like freaking fall in love to that
And it
song.
made you look like a even bigger star to
Yes.
continue
So
to travel teaching master
yes.
classes.
So I used the whole, of course, I used the
Okay,
whole
so
roller
I am
coaster to go
sure
in.
that when the decision came for you to think about becoming a Zumba jammer, I'm sure the biggest struggle was to know that you will have to let go of your YouTube channel because that's part of the contract with the jammers or the zesses. We're not allowed to post any of our choreographies on social media. So did you delay the process of becoming a Zumba jammer because of that, or was it an easy decision?
Okay, it wasn't really freaking difficult. It wasn't easy because let me tell you something.
Which year did you become a jammer?
In 2017.
You were already a big name in the Zumba world without being a jammer.
Yes, the thing was that in 2011 was the first time that they created the program, the Zumba Jammer program. So I recently was a Zine member. I was like for maybe 7 months. And the thing was that I didn't know. And that's why I understand the people when they have trouble, and even more here in our country. I stopped paying for 2 months. I stopped paying for 2 months for or money strugglings. And like I told you, Elisa, once again, she made me feel good about it. So like, don't worry about it. Just make sure that once you have the time and that they're affordable, do it. Just don't stop. Okay. So the thing was that when they have the calling, right, they tell us like it has to be mandatory to be 6 months straight Zing member. It's one of
Okay.
those rules. So I just upload my submission, and they just try back and say like, no, because you stopped paying your Zing member for 2 months. And I say like, really? At that time, I didn't understand. I understand now the things, the rules of the whatever. But at that time, it was so hard for me to feel, right? So nobody make me feel good about okay, the only reason that you are saying I'm not good enough is because I didn't have 2 months for paying my membership. That's because that's the only thing you're not telling me is I'm not prepared enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not handsome enough, whatever if you want, I can think whatever I want at that time. But the only thing they use, okay, you're not eligible just because you don't have $60 at that time. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel that time. So it made me feel really bad. And forward,
Another thing for people to understand, for those listening, in
yes,
Latin America, it's not as easy for a person to become a Zumba instructor and join Zin, especially back in the day, because just the culture of having a credit card is not normal. Like nobody will have a credit
yes.
card. So
Right
you
now
wouldn't
they
have a way to join Zin
right
because in
now
Latin America, you just don't have it. So what this does helps the new instructors to do is to get a prepaid card. So many times people in Latin America will get a prepaid card for 1 or 2 months only because that's as much as they had. But then they wouldn't have money for the next month. And then all of a sudden it will show up as like interruption on your Zim membership. It wasn't that it was canceled. It's just that there were no funds because you hadn't put more money in your prepaid
yes.
card.
Right
So
now
it
they
happened a lot. So that was an issue because of the country, the culture in Latin America. So yes, there's a lot more in that.
yes. Fast forward, that was 2014. And they offered me not they offered me, they gave me the heads up that it's gonna be I say the calling
There's going to be
call
an open call for
open call.
jammers.
Yes, for the jammers. 2014, 15, something like that. Oh, at that time, I feel so comfortable what I was doing, and I feel still a little hurt, but what that happened years prior, that I just like, okay, I'm not gonna go. I'm just keep doing what I'm doing. I feel really good about it. And the thing is that I wanna give this, I wanna give you open
Context.
content. It's not that I never say, and I'm never gonna say that I never need Zumba because I already big related to the YouTube channel. I always represent the brand the best the way that I can. I always say like, hey, I'm a Zumba instructor. The only things is because I already make a little money that for me wasn't that little related to the YouTube channel. YouTube channels start to
Monetize
pay.
it. Yeah.
Yes. So because of that, I have to come up with something doesn't make powerless to the brand to they help me for earning those earnings. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I asked you
So
that it was
so
a hard
if
decision to.
if there was somebody who doesn't know anything about me and just watching the YouTube channel, maybe they think that I'm not a Zumba instructor or I don't like to be in the Zumba community because I never promoted anything related to that. But that would happen only because in that time Zumba was reporting and that they are trying to control and understanding and learning the process through the whole internet and social media related. So now we get it. But that time you only have two choices. Okay, okay, okay. Just follow what I just follow what they asking me, or I do something else. So I just decide doing my thing because I feel that okay, I don't know if I have the back. They have my back. You know what I'm saying? I just
Mhm.
think that okay, I'm just gonna travel like my own business and the Zumba business.
Of course, and your
Every
business
time
was already successful.
Exactly. Every time that I doing a class, I do a video on Facebook, whatever. I always bring my Zumba clothes. and I was like Zumba or whatever. Lisa knows. I never say anything negative about related to Zumba prep. The only thing is I don't promote Zumba through YouTube. It's the only thing. So in 2014, I still heard that nobody know the story. So I just like, no, I'll just keep doing my thing because my YouTube is now.
So you didn't apply.
Yeah, I didn't apply. But they request, they send me, I didn't know, and they send me an email like, hey, we
We want
know
you
that
to
you,
apply.
yeah, we know that you applied one time. This is opportunity. And I just like, thank you. And I just keep moving forward. At the time, that was 14. Actually, between 14 and 15, that was Johanna. She applied and she get the Zumba jam.
And for those listening, if you don't know who
Yes.
Juhaina is William's wife, who is also a Zumba jammer. But we'll introduce her later.
Yes. She already did that in 15, I think was. And
so she became
for
a
me,
jammer before you.
Yes, before me. So I feel that okay, I don't have the title, but I'm really doing my thing and I really love what I do. So I feel comfortable. I just keep moving forward. At some point, I start to work with more people close to the Zumba home office, 2016. So I start to have more close in people from the people who runs those programs. Yeah, because the Zumba world outside of Zumba community, I think that I was already in there. I was all in the community. That's why you heard about me, because I was doing something else that you can hear about it. But in Zumba, I'm talking about the scene con, everything. I was still like a stranger. I was like, okay, this guy is not in the Zumba officially radar. I was I always like to call myself like the outsider. Like, because, for example, if you compare my career, my Zumba career as Johanna's career, she always in the middle because she's so
Yeah, she
square.
followed the path.
She always follow the path.
thing.
She always do the right things and the correct ways. So everybody know her
She played the
before.
game.
Yes, because everybody know her before everything comes and get to her. So by the time that or you were asking, how you say cuando pides referencias, when you asking reference for her, I was like, oh my gosh, she's so great, she's so gorgeous, she's doing everything good. So good job, keep going. You can accept her. Let's go. With me, I was the bad chief at all. Because of course I have mixed reference. I have a mixed up reference. I have people that they really love me, and I was like, oh my god, whatever. And they were like, no, that guy's so cocky because his YouTube channel is so big, and now he thinks he runs the place and whatever. So I have these mixed references. So my thought, because I didn't know, right? The goal was get to the closest of the closest ones to Beto and everybody in the brand, whatever. So my thought was that I'm pretty sure that they already knows about me, but there was really, really bad things about me. You know what I'm saying? So every time that I have the opportunity to get close to that inner circle, I just feel like really uncomfortable because I think that they don't really know the real me. They maybe know the reference and not a good reference about what I do and what I've been doing. You know what I'm saying? Because I always say from the day one, the only thing that I want to do is keep represent the brand while I still feel passionate about, while I am still feel good about it. Believe me that when I just feel burned and tired, whatever, I'm just gonna leave. Even though they pay me, so like, hey, but you want to, right now, I really want it. I feel passionate. I still believe in what we're doing as a student instructor to the community, to the students. And I still believe about the brand. And I told him that the time that when he invited me to the concert, but back then the concert was a big thing that everybody want to be part of it.
The fitness concert. Let's
fitness
explain what's
concert.
a fitness concert for somebody that has no idea.
Yes.
It's the biggest event at Zumba Convention. Zumba Convention happens every year, and Beto's masterclass at some point after 10, 12, 14 years ago, after everybody started teaching master classes, same as Beto needed to come up with his own concept because obviously he's the master and he will always be like, well, how are we going to be in the same level teaching the same master class as him? So his master class is called the fitness concert, and it's a legit concert. Especially
were,
back in the
you
day
were,
when the
you were in the,
production was
you
like,
were in the biggest and the famous
I was in
ones
the
over there.
best, yes,
Yes,
the
of course.
2011. But you guys, you were in the last two that were still a huge production. After that, it got
I
smaller and smaller.
think that we have the opportunity to be in the ones that they dice como resurgir,
Transitioning,
the
yes,
transitioning. Like for
re-emerging.
example, maybe the fitness concert was like this, like this, like this, and on some point it started going down. And we, for our experience, why in that time we used
Like the
the
phoenix
yes, the
rising from
phoenix
the
rising
ashes.
from the ashes. Yes. Whoa.
So you did
And
that 2 years in a row, correct?
yeah, I did it 2 years, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it three. The thing was, Johanna got pregnant, and we just decided not to go because at
You
that
did
time
26, 17, and 2018?
17, 18, and they invited us to go to the 19, but we decided to decline because it's gonna be our daughter is gonna be like 2 months.
It
We
didn't feel
decided
right.
yes, we are not supporting that to bring the baby down all the attention and
Yes,
the rushing to be in the same county
good
with our
decision.
newborn. So
I agree with your decision.
we just felt like, okay, no, we're not going.
So when they invited you to do the first one, 2017, you were already a jammer.
Yes, I was already no.
Because
I
I
wasn't.
thought you were not a jammer in the
No,
first
no, no,
one,
no,
and
no.
then you,
Actually, there was a thing that maybe nobody matters, but it matters to me. That I always say I think, but because I need to have the certificate right, maybe for the home office telling that. But I think I have the recognition, if you want. I like to think it that way. That I'm the first scene member doing a scene volume.
that's what I think. That's what I
Because
always thought. Yes.
because
But then
yeah,
they
yeah,
needed
yeah.
to make you official because the whole world was going to go by.
Yes,
Right?
now you know how the big brands work. So of course, they already give me the heads up that they want me to become a ZJ, but I wasn't have the contract and everything.
What's your
Uh,
first scene volume? Which number?
70,
Okay.
70,
And you were
70.
not a jammer yet.
No,
I
I
know.
wasn't seeing,
But it
but
was like,
they have to
oh,
put it as
wait.
a
So now
CJ.
team members can do it?
Yeah, they
Uh-huh.
have to put it as a CJ, but I wasn't a CJ at that time. So I think I'm the only one who has been doing a Zim volume, being a Zim member. There was people join the Zim volume, but they are not leading. I lead the Zim volume with of course, nothing less than freaking Heidi Torres and freaking Gina Graham, huge international
Mega Zumba
presenters.
stars.
Yes. So it was like the pressure was on and it felt so good. And it was a like class. That year was so good. It was happening too many things.
Quick pause to remind you to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel or Spotify podcast channel so that the algorithm knows that people are liking this content and it shows up to more people. So it's an amazing way for you to help me to continue to grow this project of biographies of greats. Thank you so much. Let's get back to William Villaseñor.
In that year, 2017, was when I started to be closest to the inner group from the Zumba home office. So they start to give me a lot. I went to where I went to a master class with Beto. They hire him, like for a master class to United States, and they invited me to go with him. So I was like a backup dancer. Then they invited me to the cruise. I never went to a cruise before, not as a team member. Now I have the opportunity to go as a presenter
And teach a master class,
and
yeah.
teach a master class. They invited me to the Zim volume. Of course, I already knew that. So there was
How many
a lot of
team volumes have you done? 3 or?
five. I think
Oh, okay.
6, 70, 70, 79, 80. I was joining, like with a lot of, with the Contento and Fresco team,
Contentos.
remember, in the Dominican Republic. So those are 3. It was 89 in pandemic that I recorded here in my small town right now that I live. And it was no
89
bizarre.
or 99?
89.
Okay.
89. That was one with the cubes. There was a huge
Uh-huh.
purple cube.
Yes.
89. There was 99 with Betsy. and now the 107 with my wife.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's the ones. At that time in 2017, they were doing a lot of things for me. So when they offered me, there was a, like a shock moment because at some point I didn't feel that I really wanted to do that. Like I wasn't expecting become a Zumba job. At the same time, I was feeling overwhelmed for so many things that they were giving me, the opportunity that they were giving me. And I know for a fact that there wasn't I don't have to take it for granted because those opportunity doesn't give it to anyone, like it's not easy to, okay, I'm going to give you this. And after I'm going to give you this. And after normally they give you one thing and they give you time for processing and see how you're going to react. Right? It's not you became and think you're a big star and now you think they're too much. They are really smart in that thing. Because of that, I never expect that they keep going and give me stuff in January and then in March and then in May and then in June. So it was like too many things. Maybe they were like, everybody was like, okay, now this is easy fish for me. Maybe I don't know. I was joking about with him about it because he's such a nice guy and I really love him, Alberto Pernet. So they offered me that, and that became like I feel like trap. So I was like, okay, if you ask me like for real, you want to do some pajama right now? My answer was no.
I can only imagine your thought process. Like, but if I say no, are they gonna keep
Yes,
adding me to
yes.
the inner circle events? Because
Yes,
I
and maybe they're not gonna see me as like I'm not ready for that. They're gonna see me as I'm being ungrateful, because they don't really know me to that point. So right now they know me. They know me just well enough to if I say no to something, it's because something that is in me, my personality or my well-being or whatever. But in that time, they don't really know me. So if I say no, maybe it's gonna be like, come on, this guy, or I don't know. So that was my thought. And I just start to processing and processing. But like always, my wife, she's always been a great advisor to me. And she was already my girlfriend and that time. And I was like, she was like, okay, what was your goal then before YouTube channel or whatever? What was your goal? So I was like, I was getting far as way as possible with Zumba. So guess what? Now
you
Zumba is
did
looking
it.
for you. Now Zumba is looking for you. You want to keep going with the Zumba, with the YouTube channel, or you want to go through that path that maybe take you to a different things? So I understand we have a mixed opinion. So of course, there was a lot of structured colleagues that they call me and they say like, don't go. You already have your name on YouTube or whatever, like what? And for me, I just get to the point that I feel like, okay, you know what? The contract is 18 months. So I'm just gonna go experience to the right because I already know what is on the left side. So if I don't feel comfortable with the right
You
path,
can
I
always
just
go
still
back.
go. Exactly. That was my thought. Then I was like,
Plan
okay,
B.
I'm gonna go. And on the process that I feel really bummed because that was like my baby. That's the YouTube channel was the thing that it opened me a lot of doors. That maybe okay, I can go without a Zumba without a YouTube channel, maybe you can get it as well. But maybe it took me longer to get that. I don't know. I'm never gonna know. The
Now,
only thing that
question: are you, since you're also a songwriter and a singer, are you allowed to post if you release a new song, is your new single, are you allowed to post the music video for it on
yes,
your social media, on
yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
YouTube
No,
channel?
no, 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 no. Actually, I use my YouTube channel right now. But the thing is that of course it's been lonely and without advertising and everything, the numbers you just don't know right now. But yes, I did three, three music videos and I posted over there and they were fine with it. It's not because they
But
know
those
that
are the
it's not.
only videos that you're allowed to
Yeah,
post.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's not choreography related. That's the only problem that they have. So they since then been getting these opportunities, like I told you, the fitness concerts, the same volumes, the fitness variations, the advertising, the Zumba wear, and it's been so overwhelming. That's why
And
I
now
went out
when you
to a
travel, you not only teach a master class, but you also teach a jam session.
yeah,
So
which is
it
an amazing
added value.
opportunity to keep growing, of course, through the community. Like I told you, I ran to close friend. Well, I was a close in those days prior to the pandemic, and he told me like, "Hey, I saw you in this video from Zumba, whatever." So like, take advantage because they're gonna stop using you, and now you're gonna become regular. And I'm just saying, like, you know what?
Regular.
Yeah. And I'm just saying, you know what? You know what? I don't know if
I
that is
am
gonna
not
happen.
regular. I would never be.
I'm trying not to take it in a bad way. So I thought that it's not doing it in a bad way, just like trying to give me advice or something. I don't know. I like to think that. But the thing was that I answer back and I just say, you know what, even though if they don't give me anything more and I just keep doing my thing and they don't need me for any advertising or movement like a volume or something, I'm just grateful, man, because I think it's a help. For what I saw,
So
for what I've been seeing from different instructors, that they've been doing things with Zumba. If I compare, they already give me a lot, so I have to be grateful. And I have to be a good team player and stay and do my best to keep continue to spread the community and the word because they give me a and that's a
and
fact.
here's the thing. I learned that I took all of Tony Robbins seminars, by the way.
Oh my
I've
God,
I did
yes.
the Tony Robbins University years ago. So then one of the cool things that I learned is that success has a trail in our own history. So if you look back in your own history, which is kind of like what we have been doing in this talk, and you analyze the moments that you have been so successful, what was exactly what happened and what's the common denominator on each of those successes. So I've been analyzing that for you already, so I'm going to give it to you. Your success always happens. You're not looking for it. As you explained it, you naively fall into something and then you do it with such passion and then you don't waste any opportunities around it and then success happens. But that's what happened when you were dancing at the traffic light asking for money, then you created your group, then you were invited naively to perform in bigger stages, then you were invited naively to sub for a Zumba class, then you were invited naively to become a team member, then you were invited naively to start a YouTube channel because none of us knew what that was going to represent. Then naively somebody invited you to Europe to teach master classes and you became big with master classes. Then naively somebody told you, hey, you got to become a brand and put a name to it, the Wild Shaker. Then naively you were invited to a Zim volume and then you were like, oh crap, now I need to be a somebody in the Zumba world for Zumba to have that to back up. Yeah, he's in a Zim volume because he's a DJ. So then everything is like naively, you just embrace it and then it propels you to something else. So in the same way, you can just continue to naively believe that that's your life. That's your story and it will continue to happen that way. And the moment that Zumba can no longer invite you to do projects with them, there's not going to be a problem because naively you will have already fallen into something else and something else will be working. There's no reason to doubt that. So when this person was trying to give you advice, say, no, with the Zumba is not going to use you anymore. Like if they don't use you anymore, it's not because they don't want to use you anymore. It's because something has happened to the program.
Yes.
But by then, your own trail to success in your own life, your own cycles and patterns of success will have propelled you somewhere else. So I don't think you have to worry about that, just based on your own history.
I prefer to they love me or they remind me if you want for who I am more than for what I do, you know? Because when this comes to an end or an evolution to become something else, I don't know what is gonna happen, but I prefer that they have something more than just what I do. I prefer that they have this segment of my persona for what I am, for how I react, for how I behave, for the words that I gave more than things that I do, you know. So for me, the dancing program, somebody asking me like, what do you think is the like your best quality related to what you do? And I'm just like, I don't think probably you're gonna say dance, but it's not. I don't think it's dance. It's music. What anything related to music to me is it comes passionately into my mind, and I try to develop something on it. When I say naive, right? The naive is not that I don't know what to do. No, I work hard for it, and but I never expect things really something. You know what I'm saying? I just work and I just leave the work, maybe do something that they come back to me in a way that I can keep growing and becoming something. So that's how the music get back to me. I didn't know, and at some point in pandemic, I started writing again, and I just had to contact with the producer, and he gave me beats, and I started to sing, send it to the producer. I became a song, and a year later, happens to Zumba wants me to use my song for a mega mix. So I was like, okay, really? So maybe I can do that. I can start writing down again, and I started doing music. Now focusing on the Zumba industry, and maybe I can come up with something. So I just keep moving forward, pop, 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 pop. And now I already have 4 songs in the Zumba and the Zine community, right? The next one actually is the next mega mix, it comes with new song that is
Mega mix.
yeah, the new mechanics. I don't know if it's 12 or it's 15. I don't remember.
Yeah, I happened to see the appetizer of it, and the choreo. The song is so catchy. It was
Oh, yeah,
in my
yeah,
head
yeah.
the whole day,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
choreo is awesome. I love it. I
Yeah,
can't wait for it
so
to come out.
I did the song, and this is the first time that they request me to do the choreo as well. Normally they request me to do the or choreo for another song, or they request me to like the song, only the song, but they request somebody else to do the choreo. This time they give me the opportunity to do the choreo of my own song, which it was a weird thing for me. Maybe do you think it's easy, but it's not that easy because you feel like, okay, this is me. What should I do? But it was a good experience, and I feel so grateful for the opportunity because now what happened? I'm not thinking about becoming this huge artist and the next Maluma, whatever, the next whatever. I'm just doing what I love, which is right, feeling the beat, rapping, maybe trying singing, and for some reason this fit my passion up. And in the path and the way maybe it can grow to something else. Like, for example, the other day, somebody asking me, okay, we already did this, and this in Zumba. So what do you think is next? Okay, one of the things that I really want to do it, I can tell you right now, is one of the things that I have the session, well, our session is called Mexican Flow Factory, which is an amazing, really
At
different
ZinCon.
session. Yeah, at ZinCon. And it's not related to the quebradita and only that. It's something more elaborate. And I really want to have the opportunity to
What do
go
you
to
mean
another
more
countries.
elaborate?
I'm talking about the mix it up between the beat and the music, the fusion between the musics and the way that they dance. Because I don't know you're Colombian, right?
Yes.
You're Colombian. So anybody who is in America and maybe in the world, if somebody listen Colombian, Cuban, Puerto Rican, Dominican, they're always gonna think, okay, those are amazing dancers. But when you are Mexico, that's not your first thought. You know, that's not your first thought. Even though when we have amazing dancers and we have
Yeah, we
this
don't consider you guys dancers, if you want.
exactly.
It's not a
So
country known for that.
even by saying that music related is the same. When right now the corridos tumbados, how they call it, is so popular right now because Peso Pluma and all those stuff. But you're never gonna think that there is more than that. So if I say Colombia, you can think a lot of things. Salsa, cumbia, merengue, reggaeton. Okay, when you go to Mexico, we have salsa, cumbia, merengue, reggaeton as well. But the thing is that it's not those songs that they get international because they don't have whatever. They don't have the good branding, the good advertising, the good publicist, whatever. So what we try to do is grab those songs, what maybe you think is they're not Mexican and they're Mexican, and it's so different. Like I can give you an example. There is a DJ who mixed it up with somebody in Egypt, and they create this kind of tribal with the Egyptian music. It's so freaking weird. You're never gonna think that that's a song. And we can dance with Egyptian moves, mix it up with Mexican moves. The thing is that once that you are experience that in the syncon, now you can get what we were trying to say. For us, telling the concept of that to different countries, I'm not saying, I'm just saying to you what I think. I'm not sure. But when you heard Mexican, maybe they're gonna think they only gonna dance like the quebradita. So when they offer you, because Zumba offer you this menu, like, okay, we have these sessions for the next academies, the academy in Russia. We have flamenco flow, we have Puerto Rican flow, we have whatever. So I think when they are Mexican, my first thought that maybe okay, but we don't want to learn that because we know what is this, and maybe that particularly rhythm, we don't use it that much here. You know what kind of music we do in Mexican Flow Factory. So that's one of the things that we are creating through this
Maybe for
3-year
people to
process.
understand that, it's pretty much like when we go on vacation to Dominican Republic and you stay at a high-end resort in Punta Cana and you dance with Dominicans at the high-end resort that has been built for European people and like North American people to go on vacation. So it's a more commercialized way of dancing and showing music.
Yes,
But it's very different if I get in a car and I drive an hour and a half to Santo Domingo and then I really dance with the Dominicans in Santo Domingo, with the locals, the
with the
real
local.
deal experience.
Yes,
So that's the difference between the regular Mexican session and your session. You're like what the
yes,
locals do, immersion in the
yes,
real Mexican
yeah,
experience that with all
maybe
rhythms.
with a twist that is more urban, like more that from today
Modern.
kind of music, modern. Yes.
Mhm.
So that's why one of the goals that I have is that they invite us more
For
to
how long
often
have you had this
to academy.
opportunity to teach
Three,
the Mexican factory at conventions?
3 years, 3 years. It's been
Okay.
3 years. This is gonna be our 4th year, and every year has been more bigger. So we hope to moving
Yes,
forward
it's a
to
huge
those
session. I've seen the videos.
academies because it's important to us to keep spreading what we do to different countries. I know Syncon is a place where everybody gets in from different countries, but it's another step to going directly to that specific country. You're going to Japan, going to another country, India or
Sure.
whatever. So I'm so sorry I go too far with that. Just the explanation for that is that one of the goals that was that, and the other goals that I didn't have the chance to do is like, okay, now I've been doing a concert dancing. Now I want to do a concert, a fitness concert singing,
Sing it.
So I don't know if it's not going to happen, but maybe it can happen. Like I'm not looking for it. I'm not like fighting up and, talking shit about my fellow co-artists. I'm just doing my thing,
And
doing with
having a vision.
passion, having a vision, and it happened. It's gonna be awesome. If it's not, it's gonna lead me to something else. And
Correct.
I don't feel bad about it. That's the
Correct.
thing. So
I
yeah, what you told me right now, that the path that I took and everything is pretty precise. So I feel really good about it. Thank you for telling me that.
No, and I can relate to you because my story has been, when you say naively, I totally understand what you mean because it has been very similar to my story with Zumba. I became an instructor. I had never taught fitness classes in my life. And then I just minded my own business. I was living in Kentucky. And then 4 months later, Zumba asked me if I wanted to become a master trainer because back then they called it a master trainer. It had never even crossed my mind. Number one, I started teaching Zumba classes and I didn't even think it was going to be a big deal. And 2 months later, I was teaching 15 classes a week. Everybody was going crazy. So I was like, what? I didn't even have the time to have a goal. It just happened because I was like, yes, I'll go there and there. Then Zumba is like, you want to be a master trainer? I didn't know what it was. I was like, yeah, sure. I thought I was going to dance with Beto on the stage. That was it. And then they're like, oh, you're actually going to teach trainings. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll make it happen naively and then get better in the process. It took me a couple of years to get comfortable finally teaching trainings because that was not a skill that I had, public speaking. And then 2 years later, Zumba, because they knew that I was a former synchronized swimmer from Colombia, then they offered me to be a part of the educational team to develop Aqua Zumba, naively. I was like, it never even crossed my mind. I was like, yeah, sure, why not? So I can relate to when you say naively. It's not that you're like clueless. No, it's just like you're doing your thing with a lot of love and passion and like investigating, taking advantage of different opportunities, and then one thing leads to another and another.
Yeah,
So
no.
I totally get it. It's naive in a good way. You're a hard worker, clearly. And that's one thing I was gonna tell you and you, Heine, that when I was analyzing both your accounts on Instagram in particular, I was like, okay, if I were to come up with just one word to describe both your accounts, I was like, I look at William's account and I'm like, busy. He's so busy. He's everywhere. He's doing so much on this project and that other project. And I look at Johanna's account and I'm like, oh, fun. This is a girl that I want to hang out with. She gives me the fun vibe, whatever, maybe it's just the way you guys post, but it's a very different vibe that comes from both of you. Or maybe that's
Yeah.
your own vibe. Maybe she's the fun and you're the business in the relationship. Who knows? Maybe not. So that's why I wanted to have her in camera to ask her
No,
if
I
I'm
mean,
accurate or not.
maybe you have to get go to interview to our leader and
Uh-huh.
ask her that who's the fun.
Who's the fun?
No, yeah, no. Yes,
But you're a true Zumba love, right? You met in the Zumba world.
yes. Actually, her mom hired me for coming to an event, and that's how I met her.
Oh,
Yes,
wow. She hired you for a
yes.
master class?
Yeah, she used to be hosting for different classes here in the city where we live right now, and that's how I met her.
And you Heidi was a
Actually,
jammer already or not yet?
no. She was a thing. Actually, she was like barely like 3 to 4 months being instructor. It was like very new, and
Oh, okay. So you
I
guys
was
go way
already
back.
teaching. Yeah. Oh yeah, we met a lot. Yeah, we met like
Like
2012.
2012? Okay.
Yes, but we of course we ended up being together in 2016,
That's when you started
middle
dating
16.
or when you
Yes.
get married?
Yeah. No. We started dating in 16.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, we became friends, and of course, I tried to do my move, but she rejected me right away.
You
She was
needed
like,
to
no, no,
become
no,
a
no.
somebody, dude.
Yeah. No, pretty sure that was for
Show what you can
may-
offer.
maybe my beautiful reviews from people that
Uh-huh.
they make her reject me. It's like, no. Right now, you're too dangerous for me, so I'm not thank you. But later, with the time we started, became friends and we came closer and closer and closer until one day we started dating. And the thing that you were saying about the social media, you can notice that Johanna, she never felt like she has to do something. When you saw her posting something, it's because she really wants to. Like her page is
She
like,
doesn't feel the pressure to have to come
yes,
up with
it's like,
content.
okay, right now there's people they have to do a video every 2 days because the hashtags and the freaking the algorithms and everything. She don't care. It's like, I love what I do, and I understand that maybe because of that she lost a few opportunities because we understand that when you're talking to a brand or a product, of course, you have to be as well on that, on the top of the people's comments and the newsletters and the feed, right, of the people. So you have to be there, you know.
Engage.
So engage, that's the word that I was looking for. Thank you. And for her, she's like, I don't care if I lost that. I just don't want to lose myself. Like I think I love to feel that I do this because I really love what I do. And what I do is teaching my students. So for her students from daily basis is way more important than the students that they have when they invite into a class or a super class or something. And it's not because giving, like, okay, this is more important to me than her or whatever, but they feel like my truly passion is to teach and change the mood of the people in a daily basis. So when you are teaching like these master classes and you travel, you don't do that with the same people every single. I mean, I can do that with the time, maybe because, for example, I reach out people that like, okay, you came here. 4 years ago. And I was about to do committing a stupid thing in my life. But your class changed my perspective, and then you talk to me just for a few seconds. When we take the picture, and it made me like blah, 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 blah. So that was like so rewarding to me. The thing is, I don't know if I can change the mood for that person the next day and the next day and the next day. You know what I'm saying? It's another kind of engagement. For her, the engagement that she had with their students daily is really, really sacred. It's really important for her. Is that she said, like, okay, if I teach with 10 people every single day, and this time that I really like every single day make me wake up in the morning and teach my class, I'm gonna be happy. And she got it. You can realize that. I saw in her eyes when she teach daily, she's gonna be really happy. For her,
Yeah,
if
to me,
if
that's the difference between being an inspiring person and a motivator. The motivator is Johanne. You are there every day for your people, motivating them, like daily coaching, bonding with them. The inspiring person is the person that only needs to come one time and boom, with something
uh-huh.
special, inspires it and leaves una huella, like a footprint
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah. Yes. So if you notice my Instagram, of course, I'm more in that business that, okay, I have to be there. But if you compare me to another people, I'm living here comparing to them. And I'm not talking about who has more followers. It's the engagement.
The
They are
engagement.
posting every day. They are doing things every day, whatever. And I'm just like, I know that that's not a thing, but I try to find my balance between, okay, my business and what I love to do.
Uh-huh.
So, like
And that's one thing that I loved about your account. Let me tell you,
I
because of
try to
course I am
manage.
so used to seeing, okay, yes, I know you dance great. I know. Okay, yes, I know. Oh, yeah, he produces music. That's super awesome. Okay, but I know you're already, we dance to your music. We love you. So obviously I look at you with different eyes because I've seen you for years. So I'm not like, oh, wow, let's look at the new step and the new choreography. So I'm scrolling through your feed to see what catches my attention. And me in particular, I really enjoyed looking at you working out. Like, dude, you can lift weights like
Oh,
heavy,
yes.
like
Yeah.
that heavy weight.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a
That's so
beast on
awesome.
that. Yeah, when I used to be overweight my entire life, and on some point I find out this is the part of the story that I didn't between the freaking singing and the dancing. Remember, I always love to play football, American football. So at some point I reach out to a new university and they offer me a scholarship, but that was in a different state from where I born and raised. So because of that, the offering, it was important. But the thing is that I have to leave my city. So what does mean leave my group, the music group, and I start to looking for something different. So I just get to the point where I talk to them and say, like, well, guys, I don't want to, stopping you. So I'm just taking a break. You can keep going for a little bit while I'm figure out what this is gonna take me. So I'm gonna go only for 6 months and let's see what is gonna happen. So the thing was that normally, I'm sorry, even though when I was overweight my entire life, I was dancing. Like I told you, I used to dance, but overweight. But I was feeling like, I have the feeling, even though when I was really big. And the thing was
So you
the
were an overweight dancer?
yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I
Okay.
was over with the funny one.
Plot twist. I
The
did not
funny
expect
one.
that.
Yes, the funny one. I'm talking about like 220, 230, 245, maybe. I'm not sure. No, maybe more, maybe 260. And the thing was that normally when our seasons, right? Our, our locally season, I'm talking about American football, our season were month and a half, maybe less. So it was in that period of time that I used to lose weight, 10, 20, 10, 12 kilos maybe. And then I go back on again once we finish. When I got the scholarship, I went to that. When I went to that was like NCAA for Mexico. Like this, how you say, college football, college football, right? The one before NFL. So we have a league in Mexico. We have a league. It's called the ONEFA. which is our college football. It's more professional. It's like big deal in Mexico. And I'm talking about American football. So I went to that, and the freaking training, it was like hell. There was people bombing you left and right. It was so hard. Believe me, I can't show up. I tried, but I can't. For some reason, I can't throw up. I throwing up maybe 2 times in my life. I don't know why. I feel like hell. I feel like shit, but I don't throw up. So I was trying because it was so hard. But because of that, I was not 10 kilos, maybe 22 kilos. So I feel so happy. Look at myself. You're not that bad. Like you're actually not that bad.
You're kind of
So
hot.
the thing was, it became a problem with the money and a lot of stuff that I don't want to get through that. And I just got back from that. So after 5 months, I just got back from the scholarship program and everything. So I got back. But the thing is that now I feel good for how I look. So I want to keep continue. So that's how I start the fitness journey, the really fitness journey, because I already did weights and everything, but normally it's just because of the season. So right now I feel good about how I look, so I want to keep doing that. And was in that time when I ran out to my friend who did the dance fitness class, because I was working out, so I just started doing it on a regular basis, my working out from Monday to Saturday for maintain my body, whatever.
So wait,
And that's
it said, because I see the way you lift weights is to like lift heavy weights to get bigger. Is it because the influence from having to train to be a football player that you needed to be bigger, so you enjoy that kind of training and that's what you keep?
maybe, yeah, maybe,
Okay.
maybe. And right now in the process, of course, you start to learn from people and you start to guidance by people that in 2017, actually, the year that I became a DJ, but months before, I did my only experience as a bodybuilding competition. I did a bodybuilding competition that was in
How did it go?
I was fifth. I was fifth in the local
Very good.
and rookie, and there was no strings. I don't like the freaking tongue and Memphis with the shorts.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
I
yeah,
don't
I
like
did
that
that.
song.
Oh, I don't like the tongue. Too much trouble for me. That was my 8 point related to the visually talking. So I always been struggling with my weight. I always been struggling. And because of that, I always like to be, okay, I'm gonna working out and I like try to
Okay,
I
so what
understand that I
advice
never
would
gonna
you give to men that struggle the same way as you, always struggling to maintain the weight and to
yeah,
exercise and to keep yourself in
I
shape?
cannot I cannot talk like somebody who already figured it out because I'm not.
Yeah,
Sometimes
but based on your
I
experience.
feel I bad for what I look, whatever. Sometimes I don't
But
care,
that's
like
something that
it's
I loved.
different.
I saw one of your posts in which you said, in life we fluctuate. We go up, we go down.
Yes.
We're not always going to look
The
good,
thing
and
is
that
that
is fine.
the faster the better that you realize that the entire year you cannot expecting that you're gonna look the same.
Yes, I love
it's
that.
gonna it's gonna take you a lot of weight on you emotionally talking because you understand there is
Thank you for
part
saying
of the
that. And it's same
years
for women.
there is part of the years that you are busier than the other ones, so you cannot be compromised with the foods and the diet and the prepare meals, and maybe you can, instead of working out the 6 days per week, maybe you're working out only four. Maybe you feel more energy in that period of time between May and June, and maybe in between
Those
September
are
and
the
November is
real
gonna feel.
seasons of life.
Yes. So for me, it took me 35 years. I'm 35, almost 36. And
So
even
number
even
one,
though,
you're not hard on yourself. You understand that your body shape and weight is gonna fluctuate over the year. What else?
yes,
Number two, what would you say that keep an eye on this?
you can, I mean, you can take a rest. You can take rest when you know that you are really committed to something. In this case, is your health. So, for example, if I know for a fact that I'm doing my workouts every single day from Monday to Saturday or to Friday, and for some reason I travel, and when I get back on Monday, I still feel tired. Take the day. It's nothing gonna happen if you spend one more day without doing the workout, because the rest part is important as the working
Okay,
part.
back question.
You
How
know,
many days can I take a break without risking losing my momentum?
I think 2 days is 2 days is really a good, a good window to take your time or whatever. Because the third one, even though it's not true, because it's scientifically proved that with 3 days not going to the gym, you're not gonna lose muscle, mass muscle. Uh, but it start to affect you here. Like you feel good that maybe you're losing weight now. Your army doesn't look like that big or that definition, whatever. But it's not the case. So I think 2 days is good enough for taking the rest.
But
And
what if you had to travel for 2 or 3 weeks? Have you ever been traveling for work for that much in a row?
yes.
So do you make sure you work out while you're there? Okay.
Yes, because one, we as an presenters always like to be prepared from the difference in the breathing related to the
The
¿cómo se
altitude.
dice? The altitude. So whatever that I come to a different city, the
But you
first thing that
have
I
an
want to do,
advantage because you
of course. But even with that, I like to working out in the place that I'm gonna teach, because I don't wanna they see me catching my breath, like like I like to feel like, even though that I'm tired, of course that I'm tired at some point, but I don't like to show it, because because you pay me enough for being on shape. So even though that I'm not,
to give you
you
a
know,
good show.
even though that I'm not like freaking, like a bodybuilder, like all ripped, okay, but my freaking air supply and my lungs are really freaking healthy. So what's up? You know what I'm saying? Like normally the people in this area, and of course in different disciplines, they're always looking for the best body shape, is the best physique, but it's not the case. One thing is the body shape. The body shape, okay, you have the best body shape because it's all figure, all shredded and everything. That's best body shape is one thing. Healthier, that's another thing. And uh, how you want to say
Endurance,
endurance.
cardiovascular
Yeah, I love that
capacity.
that freaking word. The endurance is another whole story. So I always say like, hey, you can put me in front of every Zumba colleague, and I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna back down. Even so that they saw me big, they think I'm gonna run out of energy or whatever. It's like hell to the no. And you know what? You know that you like. I don't know if you remember this guy. He's called Nate. Nate. I don't remember his last name, but he was one of the biggest in the strong work community. He's no longer a strong nation instructor,
Yeah,
but
I'm
it
not
was
very good at remembering their names.
okay. So I working with that guy, and I working with those guys. The first two guys that they use him for
Oh,
representing the
the
brand as well, the
brutes.
Brutes. Yes.
Yes, of course. We know the brutes.
So I put with them and I train with them, and they think that I'm gonna back down because of course I don't look like them. That's not my body shape. They have way more better body shape physique, which is different. Like I told you, one thing is how they look, and the other one is how actually your body is.
How
So
healthy you are.
I always try to maintain my body as strong as possible in those areas: cardiovascular and endurance and strength. And with all those combined, if I don't look like how I actually am, that's another emotionally work that you have to struggle with. But at the same time, you realize that this is not a mandatory thing that you have to do it. You can be the best version of you can do it. But even if not, you can accept yourself once that you know that you are your best shape as possible. Like for example, there was a time that I was doing CrossFit just because I take it like a challenge. So in CrossFit, freaking CrossFit is so hard. So, but for some reason, I feel the best shape of my life, the best shape, the best cardiovascular, the best strength, the best. I was fast, I was strong, I was endurance. Oh my God, I feel like indestructible. But I was looking in the mirror and I was like, what? Come on, I don't think
Those two didn't match. The
yes,
outside
I
look
didn't
with
match.
the inner
Yes.
feeling.
I was like, come on, I've been doing this. I've been doing way less and I look way better in other part of my life, maybe 2 years ago, maybe 1 year ago. Why are you great this like now? And I wasn't looking bad. I'm just don't look it like the way that I feel. Like I'm supposed to look like really, really, really
And that's when you have
ripped
to
and
put
whatever.
both on the scale and choose which one is the one that I'm going to go for, which one is more important,
Yes,
which one gives me more
yes,
longevity.
exactly.
I
So
know exactly what you're talking about.
I feel like on some point I have to manage to speak to myself and say like, hey, how you feel? Okay, I feel really good. So it doesn't matter if you have an extra wheel in here and it's show more than how you look at the freaking video of Zumba from a year ago, whatever. But if you feel great when you were teaching, yes, I feel great teaching. Okay, so it doesn't matter. People always gonna compare to you to the last of you, right? And I'm pretty sure that you already lived through that into the process because there was a years that you have a lot of freaking photos and advertising from you because there was a time that you were everywhere in Zumba
That was
brand.
the face.
And I don't know how you felt at that time and how you feel compared to right now.
Exactly. When I
Maybe
was
now,
looking at my best with the six pack and all ripped and
yeah.
everything, I couldn't even keep up with my own Zumba classes. Like I was
And
out
now
of
you feel
energy and I was in fear every time I was going to start a class because I knew I was going to like push myself to a level that was like painful because I didn't have the stamina. I didn't have
yeah.
I was a vegetarian, then I was a vegan, and then years later, I had to go back to eating meat because, like, I had no power in my moves. I had
Yes.
no ability to like have powerful moves for a long period of time. I needed
Yes.
a different source of energy. So yeah, I totally know what you're talking about.
And now, and
It's
now you
better
and now
to
you feel
look.
way better. And
Oh
now you
my
feel
God,
way
yes.
better right now. That's the things that they don't teach you, not even in a, for example, like in a training or maybe basic nutrition. For those people who wants to get into the fitness world, of course there's a lot of people talking about it, but it's not in the introduction. And for me, I think it's necessary because if I come up with this industry and for me, I'm all insecure because I've been overweight for so long and somebody telling me like, okay, you have to look like this and you have to feel like this. So it's like they don't match
They
because
don't.
normally people who has been with a lot of with the small body weight, body fat, I'm talking about body fat. When they have so small the body fat normally is the one that they normally give you the best shot at. And now
For
we
you to have
know,
a
right?
six pack, you have to be so low on your
Yes.
body fat.
And the body fat, now we know for experience and acknowledge, we know that it's not the healthiest body, you know? It's not the healthiest body, have the body fat that low because on some point the body needs body fat, of course.
Yeah.
It has to be controlled, of course, but it's not the what I'm trying to say is not because somebody has less body fat than the other one. It means the one that has less body fat is better body shape than the other one. Maybe the one is healthier because he has more working out skills on running, for example. So he has a better cardiovascular shape than the other one. And maybe the other one has more muscle, but this one is more endurance through the process of training for 3 hours. And this guy only stands for like 40 minutes. And this guy
Sure.
can stands for 2 hours. Something like that. Depends
Yes.
on what
Pretty
you need
much,
to
you
do.
cannot have both.
Yeah, you can have both. Yes,
You go through and that's why you go through seasons in life. Like you said, you fluctuate. And if
fluctuate.
for 4 months of the year you decided to be in crazy shape, then awesome, enjoy it, but know that that comes
Yes.
with some other sacrifices. Like, for example, for guys, when they get so big and build up like body competition level, the dancing is not as good anymore, right?
Yes, I know.
And I'm not even talking about stamina. It's just the moves change just because your
Of
body has
course.
changed. So it's the same thing. Enjoy it, but don't aim to have that for constant and forever.
For constant, for long
Allow
period of time. And the
yourself
thing
to
is that,
enjoy that for other season. You gain some weight or you change your body, then you enjoy doing other things that you do better or becoming healthier or feeling stronger. Then like embrace the changes, right?
the thing is that because you have the social media right now is all over the place right now, and it give you this role models that they always being like the same or better, same or better, same or better.
Yes.
There's no worse. There's no
Yes.
worse. It's always same or better. And so because of that, it give you like this feeling that maybe you have to push forward or push harder. And because of that, like I told you, it's a struggle that and every day that you have to realize that, okay, I'm pretty sure I love to eat, and I love to eat bad food normally. I know for a fact that on December and January, maybe it's not gonna be my best shape. So I know that I have to working hard from February to maybe May or June to get to the place that I feel comfortable with. So between now and then, I'm not gonna be
To look at the
shamed
hottest at
or
Zumba convention.
yes. I'm not gonna feel bad about myself because I'm not in the best shape from those between those months, you know. But it's like
Gotcha.
that. Love yourself and keep moving forward.
So, last question. What's the hardest thing when you're not feeling that you look good physically? What's hardest? To feel that you don't look good on a stage, being watched by hundreds and thousands of people, or not looking good naked when you're about to get intimate with your wife? Which one hits harder?
Please, promise me that you're gonna answer the same question to her when you have the time.
Yes, yes, I will.
I think it's a little bit of both because, like I always say, like I feel the pressure on because I think that for what we do, I feel like I'm obligated to have more compromise to be as fit as possible. And maybe if I did something different, maybe I don't be worried enough. But that's when the other question comes. Okay, maybe I'm not a fitness thing. I'm an accountant, or maybe I'm a trader. I'm an investor, whatever. The fitness area is only for personal beats. So in that area, maybe I'm gonna be worried that my partner, my wife, my boys, my girlfriend, my boyfriend, depends on who you are. Maybe is more important, right? So I don't know. I don't know. My question maybe is gonna be, I'm gonna say 60-40. So maybe 60 is my personal, right? With my spouse, and 40 working % for what I do, maybe.
Okay, got it. William, if people want to find you, register for your sessions, where do they go?
Well, they have to look for my instructor page in Zumba.com. You can find me my upcoming sessions.
What's
And
your full
the
name
mass,
on your page?
yeah, William Villaseñor. Yes, William Villaseñor. Maybe because of the another country, there's no ñ, so this Villaseñor with an N.
But if they
And
go to
also,
your Instagram,
and,
do you have
and
that
also,
page linked on the
yes,
bio?
yes,
Okay,
William,
so that's
William
gonna be
T.
the easier.
William TWS, William the Wall Shaker, William Villaseñor is all over the place. So I hope to have the opportunity to be your instructor one of the days. And hey, make sure to look for the next Megamix in March 1st to look for the song La Cumbia del Amor, LCDA. Yes.
La Cumbia del Amor, the new single that everybody's gonna fall in love with. William, thank you so
Yes.
much for your time,
No,
for
thank you,
sharing so
Maria.
much and
Thank
allowing
you
us
so
to meet you
much.
better.
Thank you
Thank
so
you, mi
much for the
amor.
time, and thank you for making me feel special.
You are very special. Go run to
Thank
your
you.
daughter. Please thank your daughter
Thank you.
for me.
Yes. No, thank you. Thank you. And I admire
Ciao.
you as well. I admire you as well.
Thank
I've
you
been
so much, mi
following
amor.
you. I've been following your steps, and I've been following you, seeing you as one of those, ¿cómo se dice? Pilares.
Pillars.
yeah, pillars of this beautiful brand. And thank you so much for having this space with you. It's so happy to happen this. And of course, in the later situation, I will be more than happy to keep sharing with you more stuff.
Awesome. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Ciao.